in 2 weeks and 6 days. We'll see how it plays out for this year's crop of first-rounders. Peter, isn't it amazing to think that we are right? It doesn't feel like we're as close to the draft as we are, because this year, with no combine, now we didn't have private workouts last year and everything got turned upside down with the pandemic, but this year feels like it's even more impacted by the pandemic than last year was, even as that cloud seems to be dissipating as it relates to how the pandemic is affecting us on a day in and day out basis.
Well, Mike, I keep saying to people, you're never going to get John Schneider, the Seattle Seahawks, or Howie Roseman of the Philadelphia Eagles to admit that they are one of the reasons that they were okay with either trading out or trading down in this year's draft is because they view this year's draft as a massive bit of uncertainty, okay? Because no scouts at games last year, so many opt-outs of really good players. Think about this. The two top tackles in this draft, consensus, top tackles, Sewell from Oregon, Slater from Northwestern. They have not played a football game in 400 days. And, both those guys most likely will be picked in the top 12 or 13 picks. So, and I'm not questioning their ability. I think they're both obviously really good. But let's be honest about what is missing this year. The ability to look at players the way you have traditionally. Many of them didn't play in 2020. None of them were scouted the same in 2020 as in any year before. There's no scouting combine. There's no individual workouts at your facility, nothing. So there's a lot of dubious people in the NFL right now. And why do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles, for instance, have loaded up on the first round in 2021? Because even though maybe right now the experts say the crop might not be as good, well, you're going to know that crop a lot better and be able to make your picks a lot more confidently next year than you are this year.
Yeah, that crop is always a crapshoot when it's time to draft, and it's even more of one this year, just like last year, but even more this year, because last year there was limited information in the run-up to the draft, but full information from the prior football season. This year, limited information from the prior football season, limited information in the run-up to the draft. No scouting combine this year, unlike last year. It really is even more of a shot in the dark with some of these prospects, and you have to trust your scouting department to find a way to give you some basis to believe that a guy is going to thrive at the next level, when we know that for every guy there's a ceiling somewhere between whatever he has done in college and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it's impossible to figure out where that ceiling is. That is the biggest challenge in scouting, and that is the thing that makes all the time and effort and money that's spent at times feel meaningless, because you just don't know, Peter, how that guy is going to respond the first time he faces NFL caliber competition. Is he going to win, or is it going to beat him? And is he just going to be relegated at best to career backup status? And that's the one thing that will constantly elude these scouts and these folks who think that there's some magical formula out there. There isn't, because you don't know what that guy's going to do until he gets, for lack of a better phrase, hit in the face by a grown man. Sometimes you rise up to that challenge, and sometimes you don't. And you don't know what that guy's going to do until he's in that situation.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.